Very interesting with Brisbane Roar. Actually, just confirmation, Canberra can get to 31. Now, this is because that result has been reversed after that win over Sydney. Initially got altered. It's been switched back the other way. So Canberra, they can get to 31 as well. But right here in Perth, no more second chances for the Glory. They must win or they're going to spend a 4th consecutive season watching the finals from the outside. And they don't want to do that. They win this one and they're up to 25 points and there is still hope. And those 2 matches in the next week, they face Sydney and Brisbane. Both of those away from home in very quick succession. Sydney on Wednesday, Brisbane next Saturday. Melbourne City asking an early question, McNamara, and then Torpy. Somehow, Kim Carroll in a final home match for Perth Glory has denied Caitlin Torpy goals in back-to-back weeks. Torpy cannot believe it because she'll be saying the degree of difficulty for that goal I scored last week, much higher than that one there. Virtually an open goal. But Kim Carroll in the right place at the right time. And that's why she played 55 internationals for the Matildas. Emma Checker, captain for Melbourne City, to Torpy. What an intriguing start to this match. That's an early scare for Perth Glory. And problem here for Perth, Janchevski maybe just getting a little tug on the hair. Last time between these two, pretty tight. 1-0 win for Melbourne City back in December. And that extended Melbourne City's winning run against Perth Glory to 5 consecutive matches. 9-3, they lead the head-to-head City. No draws across their previous 12 meetings. Garlich back to Checker. Good pressure from Janchevski. Can find the goal couple this season. Remember that spectacular free kick she scored earlier in the season. McKenna, Chinema. And now Caitlin Torpy looking for McNamara. And Letitia McKenna just let it go by her. Letitia McKenna returning home. Her sister Tian on the bench today for Perth Glory, hasn't played this season. So maybe we could see the sisters going head-to-head a little later. Both coming up through the ranks at Coburn City. McKenna going to Melbourne City via a stint at Brisbane. And this is McKenna. Nicely weighted pass to Torpy. McNamara. Holly McNamara in for her 4th start since returning from that ACL injury. And she's linking with Policina, her housemate. And Sakalis. Well, the Victorian product finding the Kiwi, Hannah Blake, trying to get on the outside of Grosso. That is a difficult assignment. Blake dropping back to find Liz Anton. Plenty of connections across both sides running through this one. Some Victorians in the Perth ranks. An ex-West Australian in Melbourne City. And some Kiwis on each side of the equation. But at the moment, it's Melbourne City, outside of that little half opportunity for Perth, that are looking comfortable at the moment. But Melbourne City fans will say it's been a common theme this season, possession, but we need to do a little more with it, especially in these big crunch matches. I haven't beaten a side in the top 4 this season. Perth outside, but pushing for that position on the table. Policina back in the starting side after missing out last week. Torpy looking back for Policina. That's well cut out by Sadie Lawrence. Bowen barreled over by Janchevski. Look shoulder to shoulder. You can make your decision on that call from Kelly Jones. Here it is. Well, was that shoulder to shoulder, or was there more in that? I'll let you make your own decision. Regardless, they're going to have to defend. They're going to have to be good enough here. Langman knows of Policina's danger when it comes to set pieces. 6 goals for the season, most for City, and not quite touch she was after from the dead ball situation. Langman very much untroubled. Launched up, looking for the run of Holly McNamara. Grosso dinking it towards McNamara again, but Carroll cutting it out. Gulich, Rojas. McNamara linking back with Rojas. The flag comes up. Sarah Langman wasn't to know that. And this is the danger City possess when Rojas is up front. They just look more mobile, agile, as opposed to when Hannah Wilkinson's there. And that's how they started the season with Rojas there. They were free scoring. And this is why. And just nearing the 10-minute mark of this one, City, 80% possession. And they've had 2 golden chances. Torpy's was goal-bound, cleared basically off the line by Kim Carroll. And then that chance just there for Rojas. The flag did come up, though. Rojas again, nicking it off Valletta. Here is Carroll. 157th Liberty A-League match for her, 2nd all-time now. So she plays in those last 2. She plays next week. She goes outright 2nd on the leaderboard, all-time appearances. She's not going to catch Michelle Heyman. Heyman 1 match ahead, provided, of course, Heyman plays next week. Then that will be impossible, but you would anticipate Michelle Heyman to hold that record, at least for the foreseeable future. Hannah Blake. Sakalis really trying to put on the afterburners. And the flag is up. So just for those playing along at home, because I know it's been challenging this season to keep track of the ladder, especially with these appeals against decisions to take points off sides. Now we had that match between Canberra and Sydney. Initially Canberra won that match. It got reversed after the decision from the APL. And now it's going to go down as that initial 2-1 win to Canberra. So that means on the ladder at the moment, Sydney 34 points behind Western United, who are on 36. So that's what it affects in Canberra on 28, level with Melbourne Victory. So still well in the finals race, the team in green. And that means Perth Glory, Melbourne Victory, Canberra United can all get a maximum of 31 points if they win their remaining matches this season. And Melbourne City, they lose today, they could be caught, they could be dumped out of the finals, because they currently sit on 29 points, 30 on the live ladder with a point here. So they lose though, they'll be stranded on 29, and they've got that final round match against Canberra. I know, it's very complex, but what a finish we've got in the Liberty A-League. What a season we've had. Garlich trying to slip it through for McNamara. And Garlich back on the ball again. So dangerous. And the clearance away. A bit of a scuffed one. Will be tracked down by Hannah Blake, but Daniela Garlich, what a player, the 16-year-old. And she's back on it again. Turn from Pollicina. Gets goal side, Rihanna Pollicina. Bodies on the line. Perth Glory almost punished again. That time it was Liz Anton, but the alarm bells are ringing. The lights are flashing. Perth Glory, they have to be better. They've soaked up all the pressure so far. They haven't conceded. But in a must-win match, there'll be some hearts racing at Macedonia Park and beyond for those who wear the purple. It's incredible, isn't it, how tight things have got. And that's why this match is so crucial for Melbourne City. They lose this, all of a sudden, it comes down to that match with Canberra United, who would be a point below them on the table. So that just heightens things for a side who looks so comfortable. Until the last 5 weeks, have only won 1 of their last 5. And they've just been stranded. Do they put these early missed opportunities behind them, Melbourne City, or does it get to them? Hannah Blake trying to slip it through for Lowry, just lost her footing. You sense she's the key today. Hannah Lowry, massive, massive game for Perth. 19-year-old who's stood up in some big moments for Glory this season. And Blake just trying to play her in, but just lost her balance. Torpy looks up, sees the run of Bowen. And Rigby that time getting a toe in. What a special afternoon it was last time she played here at Macedonia Park, scoring her first goal in the competition. Result not the one she would have wanted. Checker. And now Rojas returning it to the captain. Bowen just tries to stab it. Not going to beat Rigby. Falls for Policina. Just struggling to get it clear here. Sadie Lawrence got it to Sakala. She can excite and spring forward. Blake. Rigby. Anton has City Blue converging. And Kelly Jones saying that there was a little too much there from Emma Checker. What do you think here? Emma Checker, yeah, probably fair enough. Two arms, just pulling it aground. And now Sakala sees the run of Folletta. So exciting, Izzy Folletta, but Sakalas couldn't find her. That's a really important win for Caitlin Torpey, who then gives it up. And Sakalas just in front of Yanchevsky. That was not far away for Perth Glory. Dangerous ball in from Sakalas. Yanchevsky maybe a stride quicker. And they could have been picking that one out of the back of the net, Melbourne City. Turned over again. And that's what they'll be sweating on Perth Glory. They know Melbourne City, they like to play it out. Folletta. Izzy Folletta versus Policina. A little back heel, but no one in purple near it. Torpey. What a run this is from Caitlin Torpey. Finding Rojas. Now Policina. But Torpey couldn't continue the run. She'd run out of gas. That was a mazy run down the far touchline. Just 23, Caitlin Torpey, 76th Liberty A-League appearance. Could get close to bringing up a century next season if they can chalk up a couple of finals appearances, Melbourne City. Rojas, Garlich, ricochet off the backside of Sadie Lawrence. That could have been really awkward for Langman, but in the end, does not trouble the Perth Glory keeper. So if you have just joined us, two sides who must win in this finals race. Second last match of the season for City, third last for Perth Glory. And two sides who have had destiny in their own hands. Melbourne City still do. Perth Glory, if they're good enough, they still do. But they've slipped up in recent weeks. This is the time to shine. Rigby's delivery. No one in the middle. Torpey did well enough to clear it away. Perth Glory, they were on a 4-match winning streak just a few weeks ago. Draw with Western Sydney. Upset loss to Adelaide. Beat Wellington last week. 1 win in 3. Melbourne City, losses in the last 5 to Sydney, Western United, Melbourne victory, a draw with Sydney FC, and a win over Newcastle. So Melbourne City, in matches against the other top 4 sides, have found it really difficult this season. You could almost put this match in that category, considering the pressure that surrounds it. Melbourne City, you can see, dominating shots on goal. Perth Glory, some little half chances. Rigby with a good ball in before. Ball played in by Sakalis towards Janchevski. They've been better at creating opportunities in the last 5 minutes or so. Melbourne City. That pass from Bowen. Just behind Policina. And the more and more opportunities that they are unable to take, Melbourne City, you sense the frustration just may continue to grow. Policina powers it across to Rojas. Flag is up. Melbourne City frustrated. Rojas blowing up at Kelly Jones. She may get a further talking to here if she's not careful. She's almost saying to the referee, I was looking across the line. How could I be offside? I knew I was onside. Which is probably her frustration in herself as well. She's thinking, how did I get caught offside when I could look across the line, see where I was? There it is, Santa Kelly Jones. I definitely was onside. Great touch from Garlich. The ball just behind her. McNamara. And Perth defending their goal like their lives depend on it today. What about that? Garlich, the pass just behind it, gets back, makes the touch, brings it under control. 16. Daniela Garlich. Policina has the target of Checker. Bowen in there as well. And it is towards Emma Checker. And Kelly Jones says, contact in the box. Tash Rigby saying, can you give a card as well? Kelly Jones satisfied with the free kick. Here we go. Rigby. Oh, yeah. Check a little push on Rigby, went crashing into a teammate. Good spot from the referee. Master Antonio just breaking up the City attack momentarily. Rojas, the back heel to Garlich, and Rojas continues the run. Cleared away by Sadie Lawrence. And Hannah Blake rolls it up the line. Gets things moving here for Perth Glory. Rigby drives it. Chinema. Soaking up the pressure is what Perth Glory have done for a lot of this half. As you'd probably expect, City to dominate possession in this match. Perth Glory to strike on the counter-attack. Remembering they've got Sierra Hinson on the bench, so we're not sure how significant the knee issue that she's been having at training is. But they bring her on. The team, no doubt, will rise in confidence. Rojas, did she go down too easily? Yes, according to Kelly Jones. Grosso. Bowen. Returns it to the American. And the Kiwi Bowen. Almost 25 minutes old this match. City, 71% of possession. Well, what are they doing with it? They have created the better chances in this match so far. They're the only side to have a shot on goal in this match. It's been they who have been doing majority of the attacking, but Perth Glory have withstood the pressure so far. Can they withstand this attack? Rojas played in by Garlich. Rojas returns it to Garlich. Well, there was precision on the strike, just not the power to beat Sarah Langman. She just goes from strength to strength every week. You just hope that we still get to watch her again next season here in the Liberty A-League. Meanwhile, down the other end, Sakalis side down. Now, is it going to be a card here for Torpy? Is this worthy of a yellow card? Gee whiz. Some would say yes. Kelly Jones says no. She actually hasn't received a yellow card this season, Caitlin Torpy. This ball launched into the box and Barbieri picks it up. Hasn't had too much work to do in her 100th match in the Liberty A-League. So, 7 shots to none. Probably doesn't tell the full story. Perth have had their half chances on the counter. Well, Torpy being asked to take this throw a little further back. Oh, yeah, Chevsky just on the blind side there of Chinema. Oh, McKenna in front of her old home fans, finding Garlich. Takes on Rigby. Little overhit. Anton will let it run. Letitia McKenna, as I mentioned before, debuted with Perth in 2018 as a 16-year-old. 25 appearances and 3 goals for her hometown club. And she's been heavily involved for Melbourne City today. Rojas feeding off the scraps from the Anton header. Garlich free. Daniela Garlich. And she finds Torpy maybe just a little too cute for Melbourne City. But gee, it was well worked. McNamara. And now McKenna looking for that top corner. You can just see here the quality on show. Garlich. And the chance goes begging for Melbourne City. McNamara's header. And then McKenna blazing over. Checker. Folletta into the back, and That's the decision. Well, it's actually across the sideline. So Perth Glory throw just after the half-hour mark. Blake towards Rigby, and Rojas getting back to do the defensive work. May have been clipped there, Rigby. Nothing doing though. And Sakalis, well, she was off because there was space in behind there. Pass just over hit. Alex Aparkis, knowing that destiny is in their own hands. If they're good enough, they can win their last three. Tough. Sydney and Brisbane to come, away trips. But they can do it. Garlich in the duel with Anton. Almost to McNamara. Policina pivoting. Torpy. And now Bowen, Grosso. Grosso didn't drop enough. Put it down as another shot for Melbourne City in this first half. Just wonder mentally whether that will be getting to them. 8 shots to nothing, dominating possession. Maybe this is their time. Rojas cuts it back. Folletta with the clearance. It's been the question for Melbourne City. They're going to have to keep batting it away until they answer it. How clinical can they be now? Garlich, McNamara, and spilled. It's a simple finish for Rihanna Policina, their leading goal scorer, with 7 for the campaign. But that was an absolute gift laid on a platter by Sarah Langman. It just bobbled up off the turf, but she will know that she should have ensured that she grabbed that ball, and there was no chance for Policina. Returning to the starting side, Policina's celebration muted, as you would expect in that situation. And Perth Glory, after they had done so well, they defended opportunities that were much more clear-cut than that was initially. And in the end, it's a mistake from their goalkeeper, which really gives them an uphill battle now. And Melbourne City trying to ram home this advantage. Torpy, played in by Bowen, who continues the run. McNamara scoops it up, lifts it towards Rojas. I tell you what, if Hannah Wilkinson was in there, it probably would have been 2-0. Garlich off the crossbar, and it ricochets to McNamara, who's down. Now this is concerning. Holly McNamara has hit the turf. Just her 4th match back from that ACL injury. How about this from Garlich? Oh, she is a player. And then the contact with Langman. Daniela Garlich. And everyone that's probably watching this knows how good a player she is at 16 years of age. Wow, wow, wow. Good to see Holly McNamara back up and walking.
Danny, step up, Danny. Now.
Final 10 minutes of regulation time in this first half. Pressure from Blake. Too much, according to the referee. So in a match where they've struggled to get possession, Perth Glory, how do they go about rescuing this? So we just see the reason for that free kick. As Valletta drives the boot straight to Grosso. Rojas, Blake's touch onto Garlich. Rojas. Cote Rojas with an almost special goal. Just dazzling Perth Glory inside their own box. McKenna off Carroll and up to Janchevsky. He heard appeals for handball from the City bench. Janchevsky couldn't keep it inside there. McNamara, space to roam here for Holly. Feeds Policina, the goal scorer already. And Langman there. And distributing to Rigby. But it's going to cross the sideline. Grosso. And Rigby just using strength there to her advantage. Rojas is able to keep it in. Grosso versus Anton. Rigby screaming at her defence. Wanting more from her side, the Perth Glory captain. And now McNamara skipping into the box. Just the goal kick. The A-League Women's Young Footballer of the Year for last season, McNamara. Injured just at the back end of the regular season. But back in City Blue. And in the Matildas as well. Neat piece of skill there from Grosso in the shadows of the sideline, just scooping it up. And that also scooped forward to Garlich. Checker and Grosso. Well, in a must-win match for Perth Glory, they just have to push on. Maybe Alex Epakis will just wait until the second half till he fully allows his side to release the shackles, but there comes a point where they're going to have to take on Melbourne City. They need 3 points. A draw here for them. And basically, it'll be season over. 23 points it would take them to, meaning a maximum of 29. Still mathematically in the finals race, but that would make things pretty tight in the run home. So win or put it in the lap of the gods for Perth Glory. And right now they just are not creating anything. They just cannot get their foot on the ball. So can they do something here? Now they're in possession. Melbourne City sitting pretty at the moment. Third place on the live ladder. Just in behind Sydney and Western United. A chance to seal their spot in the finals with a big win here in the West. And you can hear the cries from the Perth Glory bench. Take your time, get this set piece right. Hannah Lowry. Not a whole lot of wind to work with, as you can see by the corner flag. First corner of the game for Perth Glory. Lowry's delivery, a good one, onto the head of Anton. Not going to fall in the goal though. Anton got up nicely. Bowen linking with Torpy. And one back here by Izzy Folletta. This will get the home fans up and about. Folletta springing onto the ball. Mastrantonio taken off her toes by Garlich. Policina powering into the space. Rojas to the right, McNamara the option though on the left. McKenna driving forward off the back of Liz Anton. Not for the first time today, the New Zealand defender getting a body on the line. And now McNamara. Policina. It's going to spill out for McNamara. And McNamara swivels again. Liz Anton. Just a brick wall at the back. Rigby slipping. And Janchevsky not going to win the throw though. Here's McNamara. That is the cries from City of a penalty. Rigby almost had the look of a guilty party. She just stopped. Threw her hands up. Did look a little nervous. Almost no stoppages to think about in this first half. So you'd expect not a whole lot of stoppage time in a minute. Flag up against Grosso. Otherwise, Perth would have had some more headaches potentially before half-time and an even higher mountain to climb. Is Perth Glory side on a 5-match unbeaten run in their last 5 home matches here at home. Good record in Perth, but Melbourne City at the moment looking good to put a stop to it. Policina around the corner. Unable to keep it inside. So there you go, 2 minutes. And Blake just pushes the pass into space. And you can see the frustration from the Perth Glory bench. It's a frustrating half all round for the home side. Maybe there's some salvation right on the stroke of half time. Mastrantonio. Folletta. Melbourne City getting everyone back, and that pass just straight into the arms of Barbieri. Bit of thinking to do in the second half. Perth Glory, they are without one of their best players, Sierra Hinson, on the bench. Do they break glass in case of emergency and push her out there and say, well, it's win or season over most likely? Torpy. Policina, Rojas asking for it. Rojas receives, returns it to McKenna, and cannot get anything behind it. Almost looking to pass it into the goal, and Melbourne City could rue that chance right on half time. They do lead it at the break, and that is a face of frustration for Alex Epakis. His side, well, they barely fired a shot in that first half. Melbourne City dominating possession, dominating the chances, and in the end it was a mistake from Sarah Langman which allowed Policina to make at half time the scoreline Perth Glory 0, Melbourne City 1. Year-old for Melbourne City. Maybe she won't be in this competition a whole lot longer. So Perth Glory, they've got 45 minutes to try and save their season. They fired one shot at goal in the first half. Can they ask some questions? And immediately off the kickoff, it's Melbourne City who are doing all the questioning of Perth Glory's back line, like it was the case in the first half. And this is what Melbourne City love to do most. 118 sequences of 10 or more passes so far this season coming into this match. McKenna off the toe of Anton. So that is by far and away more than any other team in the competition. 63 sequences of 10 or more passes, more than any other team in this competition. Rojas trying to take on Sadie Lawrence. The only criticism of that is, of course, being clinical in front of goal. Just the one goal last week against Sydney. It came late on from a set piece. Didn't score against Victory, so just 2 goals in their last 3 matches. Folletta with the clearance. But again, there's a City shirt. Torpy there to take the throw. Chinema. McKenna. Torpy, touch heavy from Policina. Gets it back though, via Folletta. And just a goal kick in the end. Well done by Perth Glory fullback. Getting up close and personal with the ball kids, making sure they're all good. McNamara. That was the purple wall there in front of her. 3 Glory players blocking the path to goal. Grosso still going, holding off players. Policina. Torpy on the angle, cuts it back. McNamara was waiting there. Grosso was felled, but Rigby got the ball. And Perth get it to safety again. Well, it just seems like it's going to be the same storyline as the first half. Perth just getting pilloried back inside their own 18-yard box. And Gullett chasing after this. As Rigby, she wants it to run. It just would not go for Tash Rigby. They're going to get it in the end, though. Sakalis. And finally, Perth Glory into Melbourne City's half. McNamara versus Carroll. Final week of her career in the Liberty A-League for Kim Carroll. Can she help Perth pull off a miracle and make the finals? She's done her job today, no doubt about that. It's the creativity at the other end, creating chances. Still they defend. Policina decides against shooting. McKenna, she decides to shoot off the back of Rigby. That's the only criticism that you could probably have of Melbourne City so far, sometimes opting to pass instead of shoot in some areas of the pitch where they might be better advised to have a crack at Sarah Langman, who's already made a mistake today. And probably not the right moment there for Caitlin Torpy. We have seen her hit some spectacular strikes from range. Did score last week, of course, against Sydney FC, laid on. Great goal for the 23-year-old ex-hockey player. Bowen and Rigby. Tash Rigby, plenty of space for her to run. And Yanchevsky's pass on that occasion. Remember, it was Yanchevsky who set up that goal for Tash Rigby against Western Sydney a few weeks ago. Couldn't find Sakalis on that occasion. So how long do they wait, Perth Glory, before they bring on Sierra Hinson, who we know has just been struggling with a knee issue? They've also got Gabrielle Coleman, the striker on the bench, the American, who scored once this season against Canberra back in November, right at the start of the season, who came to the Liberty A-League via Iceland, where she scored 9 goals in that competition, but hasn't played since New Year's Day. Coleman. You just wonder at what point Alex Epakis is going to get his side to turn the dial and just go for it. When do they release the shackles? Because they're unable to really puncture Perth Glory's defence at the moment. And their attack this season, not too bad. 6th best in the competition, which is where they are on the table. 4th best defence. City 3rd best attack, 2nd best defence this season. So Melbourne City will be very keen on another clean sheet. Well picked off by McNamara. Rojas in the middle. McNamara taken wide by Carroll. That's the experience of Kim Carroll, the 35-year-old defender in Liberty A-League match number 157. And Bowen lines up the shot. Never going to trouble Langman. And the status quo remaining in this second half. Melbourne City almost with 70% of possession in the second half. Lowry. Sakalis. Is this a moment for Perth Glory? Sakalis with the 1-2. Barbieri off her line quickly. Well, Glory, they look most dangerous when the ball is at the feet of Sophia Sakalis. Former Melbourne City product, 5 appearances over 3 seasons at City for her. And her speed has been something Melbourne City have just found it a little difficult to contain, but the opportunities for her to showcase that few and far between. Here she is though, touch just too heavy for Lowry. She just measured that a little better. Lowry was in with a shot of testing out Barbieri. Are they just getting somewhat of a toehold in this match, Perth Glory, in the last few minutes? Is that something for them to build off? Folletta. Sakalis clipped by Torpy, it was. Bowen pressed by Yanchevsky. And this could be a moment for Perth. Lowry just couldn't get there though. Grosso did. And then the free kick goes against the teenager Lowry. And a yellow card as well. Well, let's see. Did this warrant a yellow card? Well, some may think that Hannah Lowry got the ball there. Anyway, in the meantime, Grosso. Header away from Sakalis. And Torpy's ball did enough just to trouble Kim Carroll. Enough that she thought safety first was to get it across the byline. Melbourne City, 3rd corner of the day for them. Policina, deep delivery. Checker tracking it down. And Rojas. Rigby running away from Cote Rojas. And the clearance, as has been the case for much of this match, back to Melbourne City, whose backline is pressed up right on halfway. Bowen. Pollicina. And Filletta. Well, here we go. Frustration building for Perth Glory. A referee saying there was a bit too much in that from Filletta on Pollicina. You can be the judge at home. Pollicina floating, dangerous delivery. McNamara. Oh, she might be copping some heat over that from her housemate, but she wasn't able to finish it off. If you want to check that out, though, I encourage you to head to Melbourne City socials and check out that little clip of Pollicina and McNamara. And here is the change that Perth Glory fans have been asking for. Sierra Hinson, so has been struggling with a bit of a knee issue, but she is back. And maybe, just maybe, she can pull this one out of the fire for Perth Glory, but they're going to have to give her opportunities to do so. She's got just over half an hour. McKenna really hit that pass quite solidly towards Grosso. And she's going to give away the free kick this time for the challenge on Rigby. Lowry pressing on. McNamara after it. Was there a little tug from Liz Anton? McNamara certainly thought so. Sakalis has it pinched off her by Torpy. Filletta dove in. Crunching tackle. Pollicina. Torpy. Grosso offside. Neatly worked again from Melbourne City. Playing some lovely football once again. But it's still the Langman mistake which allowed Pollicina to profit, which is the difference. 1-0 in the first half. Lowry, that's an important win in the air, but Hinson wasn't able to put on the speed required to catch up with it. Torpy cross towards Rojas. Sakalis links with Lawrence. McNamara quickly on the turn. Holly McNamara appeals for handball against Filletta. They are heated by Kelly Jones, and out comes a yellow card. So Izzy Folletta, yellow card for that handball. Kelly Jones deeming that there was a bit of intent there. Wasn't just an accident up off the knee. Bowen. As she looked to bulldoze straight at the wall. Oh, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Now, I think we're going to get this taken again. Now, what this should be is it should be a free kick to Perth Glory, because a player is not allowed to be within a metre of the wall from the attacking side, and that's what Pollicina was. So the free kick should have gone to Perth. Instead, look at this. This is a free kick, a clear free kick. If you read the manuals, if you're within a metre of the wall as an attacking player, it's a free kick the other way. And Bowen gets another shot to take the free kick. Bit bizarre as to why that was retaken. Fortunately, though, for Perth, they don't concede, and Sakalis is off. Sophia Sakalis, and should win a free kick here, and does. Well, Kelly Jones is just going to have to keep a lid on things here, because both benches are up in arms. Now, Sophia Sakalis pushed by McKenna. No yellow card for that. Yet there was for Folletta for the handball down the other end, and you can understand why the Perth Glory bench are absolutely furious. Lowry bending it in, so just confirmation. Folletta into the book, Lowry into the book for indiscretions that probably were not as great as that one there from McKenna. That's at least what the Perth Glory bench thought. Oh, there's a bit of hip and shoulder. Mastrantonio not shirking that challenge. Lawrence. Now Macheka almost has a little chuckle. The Perth Glory bench were up in unison again. Here's the contact, McNamara on Mastrantonio. And I think almost Perth Glory, here it is. Gee, there's not a lot in that, but, and you can see Melbourne City, they're almost like, if you go to ground, I think Hannah Lowry worked out, if I just go to ground, should earn a free kick here. Allows Perth Glory a chance from the set piece. Mastrantonio bending it in towards Rigby. Hinson had the chance to finish it. The flag came up anyway, and Barbieri, she didn't know that at the time. And that may be Perth Glory's best avenue to goal, the set piece. Here we go. Now, looked as though Rigby was offside there. Her or Blake. Hinson denied by Barbieri. Fantastic save. So Darcy Malone and Hannah Wilkinson to come out onto Macedonia Park. So is it a straight swap for Wilkinson on for Cote Rojas? Just checking out if there's any issues with the ribs for Barbieri. 100th match in the Liberty A-League. This was the chance. Yeah, it certainly would have just winded her, you would think. Still Barbieri taking some time to regain a breath after that. And you just heard there, 19 and 6 off for Melbourne. Just a little bit of eavesdropping on the fourth official and confirmation there. So McKenna and Rojas, the players off. So straight swap Wilkinson for Rojas. She'll go to the top. And the point of the attack. And McKenna in her hometown against her old side. Good performance today from Letitia McKenna. Darcy Malone out there for her 11th appearance this season off the bench. The 20-year-old Campbelltown junior. Chinema put under pressure there by Hinson. And this is where Perth Glory will sense there's an opening. Set pieces. And as we know, to this point, very few opportunities. But maybe this was the plan all along from Alex Aparkas. Try and soak up the pressure. Strike in the final 20 minutes or so. They're going to have to strike twice. Lowry to Hinson. Back post. There it is. There is the equaliser. And it's Sadie Lawrence. That is her first goal in the Liberty A-League for the returning hero for Perth Glory. Remember, she made her debut in the Liberty A-League back in 2009 as a 16-year-old, and then 10 years on, made her return last season, and now she has her first ever goal in the Liberty A-League. What a moment for Sadie Lawrence. And Perth Glory are still alive in this finals race. And it's the set piece, which is undone City. Turned over. Goalkeeper off a line. And Perth Glory have turned it all around. Can you believe it? Hannah Blake from wide out took on the strike. And Perth Glory, their hopes are well and truly alive. What a goal from the Kiwi. Oh my goodness gracious me. What football smarts from Hannah Blake. And 2 minutes ago, Perth Glory had barely created an opportunity, and their finals hopes were trending towards becoming dust. And now they lead 2-1. Oh my. How good is football? And now Melbourne City, they've got Hannah Wilkinson out there. She could yet make history today. Remember, she scores today and she becomes the outright leading goal scorer in Melbourne City's history. 17 apiece right now with Jess Fishlock. Well, it looks like a masterstroke. Here we go. Shots on target. Perth Glory, they've had 2, scored them both. And Melbourne City, gee whiz, you just got to think about those chances in the first half. The wasted chances. Barbieri still feeling the stomach area. Lowry, Hinson. And Garlich now has it pinched off it. Melbourne City, all of a sudden, they are the side that is paddling. They are the side that is under pressure to make the finals. Wilkinson And the touch in there from Folletta. Well, Alex Aparkas, it's going to look like a masterstroke now, the way that Perth Glory just sat in for the majority of the match, up until maybe the 70th minute, created some more chances. The set-piece goal from Lawrence, and then Hannah Blake, third of the season, turn from Policina. Can she get the back level? Wilkinson, oh, top corner from Hannah Wilkinson. And there is the history-making goal. She becomes Melbourne City's all-time leading goal scorer outright now with 18 goals. And in the big moment, when Melbourne City's finals hopes were under pressure, Wilkinson finds the top corner, and we are back at 2-2. Some late entertainment on your Sunday night. How about that from Hannah Wilkinson? Four goals this season. Not quite the games to goals rate she had last season, 14 in 14. This season, 4 goals in 12, but that is a priceless strike. Yellow card is out for Darcy Malone. Wow. What a finish at Macedonia Park. Carroll launches it in. She won't forget this match. Her final one at home in the Liberty A-League for Perth Glory. Lawrence tries to tee up the strike, looking for a Blake-esque moment. And now we're into the final 15 minutes. This is a period where Melbourne City have scored the most goals in the competition. They've scored 10 in the final 15 minutes. Just confirmation there. Sarah Kane, former Melbourne City player, 6 appearances for them in the 2020-2021 season, replacing Master Antonio in that holding midfield role. Yeah, so just repeating, final 15 minutes, Melbourne City have scored the most goals in the competition with 10. Perth, the fewest, just 2 in the final 15. Stats, though, are there to be broken. And don't forget, regardless of whether it is a draw, Perth win it, Melbourne City win it, final round, isn't it set up? Especially right now, with Melbourne City only getting a point. Now, we'll try and make sense of it all. And we'll get to that after McNamara shows footwork down that right edge. So, Canberra United take on Melbourne City next week. If the scoreline here stays as it is, Melbourne City will be on 30 points, Canberra 28, Melbourne Victory 28. So, if Victory win next week in their match against Wellington, who you would expect, it is in Wellington, but they would be the favourites, and Canberra beats City, City will not play finals. They've been in the top 4 basically the entire season. Well, they have been. They won 4-1 against Wellington the opening round. Big win there. You would not credit it if they missed the finals. They've just looked so comfortable. But the final 5 weeks, 6 weeks of the season haven't been kind to them. Just 1 win in 5. It could be 1 win in 6 if they don't win this one here today against Perth. And the blowtorch gets turned on how clinical they are in front of goal. No doubts about Hannah Wilkinson a few moments ago, but it was an issue for them in the first half. They should be well clear. Instead, 2-2. Sarah Kane gets the free kick. Just over 12 minutes of normal time remaining. We will have some stoppage time, so there's at least 15 minutes remaining in this match. Anton thumps it up towards Hinson. And just a groan since Sierra Hinson ran onto the park. Melbourne City 9-7 in the fouls count. Hannah Wilkinson looking for a double. Shifting left and right. This is as dangerous as she's looked this season for City. And that will excite them heading in towards the finals if they can make it. Wilkinson, the touch, Policina. And you remember Wilkinson, her almost telepathic relationship with Holly McNamara last season. Maybe that was the missing ingredient for Wilkinson, the fact that McNamara can put the ball on a dime for the striker. And we've got another substitution on the way. Briley Henry. She's going to replace Daniela Garlich, who hasn't had quite the impact in the second she did in the first half. Just over the head of Folletta. Briley Henry with the goal at her mercy. And that is the issue for Melbourne City, once again rearing its ugly head. It's just that lack of clinical finishing. Policina. That one was swerving at Langman. And to be fair to Briley Henry, just out on the park, but Melbourne City fans will look at the statistics when it comes to shots on target, and they'll go, we've had that many. We should have been 2 or 3 clear. And Briley Henry will expect herself to finish from that kind of range. And Rigby, how about that for a challenge? Hinson has Hannah Lowry, the teenage hero, potentially for Perth Glory. Hannah Lowry, one of the stars of this Perth Glory side. Time just stood still for the youngster. And doesn't she have that in spades? Just took it on and curled it into the back of the net. Hannah Lowry, her name up in lights for Perth Glory, not for the first time this season. What a star she is. And they're back in front. Hasn't this match exploded to life in the final 20 minutes? And Melbourne City are staring down the barrel of missing the finals. Once again, 28 points they're on, remember? Now, goal difference. This is going to be interesting. Canberra United +1, Melbourne City +12 it would be. So, this is going to get very, very interesting. And Hannah Lowry, what a player. Australian Youth International. Has been given plenty of praise by Alex Epakis throughout this season. So, great news as well for Tian McKenna. First appearance of the season. First appearance over the last couple of seasons for her. Blake slips it through. Tian McKenna was after it. Could you write that script? Tian McKenna has not played for Perth Glory over the last couple of seasons. It's been in the young Matilda squads, not in Perth Glory squads. How about this? For a chance, hard in your mouth, Tian. The 18-year-old. And Hinson. Well, this could seal it. It's crossed the byline. It's crossed the byline. McNamara versus Kane, just glides on past Holly McNamara. Could they equalise again? Valletta sprawling. Another chance saved by Langman. Oh, desperation. "15 minutes ago, you'd be forgiven for thinking this match was just drifting idly towards a 1-0 victory for Melbourne City. Now they're looking to make it 3-3. Back post, McNamara through the crowd of bodies. It is somehow back off the line and again rejected by this Perth Glory defence, who continues to put bodies on the line. Checker, McNamara, chances flying. Still Perth have the lead. So, to try and make sense of all of this, Melbourne City currently on the live ladder, plus 13. That's the goal difference on 29 points. Next week against Canberra, who are on 28. Victory on 28. Perth Glory 25 points, but they remember 2 games still to come. Melbourne City were begging for that goal to be awarded. Didn't look like it crossed the line from our vantage point. And here we are. Just 4 and a bit minutes remaining. Gabrielle Coleman hasn't played since New Year's Day. And it's a scuff shot. Hinson, 4-2 Perth Glory. They're running away with it now, the home side. 4 goals in 16 minutes. They barely fired a shot before then. They are dancing in the stands at Macedonia Park. And Sierra Hinson, there's another one for her this season. With a knee injury coming into this one, had to start off the bench. There's a half dozen for the season. And Melbourne City, well, they're going to require a miracle now themselves. Have a look at that. The last 20 minutes of this match, we've seen 5 goals. Have you seen anything quite like it? And this is why we love the Liberty A-League. Now remember, Melbourne City, goal difference. They can't afford as Langman and McNamara clash in the box. And what is the decision? Kelly Jones looks to have given the free kick away of Perth Glory. Here it is, 50-50 contest for the ball. Ooh, McNamara got there first. Melbourne City asking for the penalty. Fair enough. McNamara gets there, Langman bang. So now this just gives us a little chance to try and make sense of this whole finals race. Okay. while Langman and McNamara get some attention. We are going to have some stoppage time. So on the live ladder right now, as we see a change for City. So McNamara is going to be forced off. Isabella Accardo out there for her 7th appearance of the season. So what it means for the ladder, Western United topped, 36 points, 1 game left, so they can get to 39. Sydney have 2 left. They play Perth Glory. So Sydney, if they want to win the premiership, they really need to win that match against Perth Glory. If Perth want to make the finals, they need to win that match on Wednesday. So how about that for a contest midweek? Melbourne City in the race for the finals, 29 points right now. Victory 28, Canberra 28, Perth 25. Remember Perth, they have another game in hand on those sides above them. So they could join Victory and Canberra on 28 with a win against Sydney. Away from home, that's a really tough ask for Perth Glory, but many would have thought this was going to be a tough ask. Melbourne City, who looked comfortable for 70 minutes of this match, dominating it. Coleman taking on Torpy. Gabrielle Coleman has Hinson in the middle, leaves it behind, takes down Torpy. That's a nasty one for Caitlin Torpy. And now we're going to find out how much stoppage time we've got. What is the number? Whoa, 9 minutes. 9 minutes for Melbourne City to try and score 2 goals. Maybe 3, who knows? We saw 5 in 16 minutes. So why can't we see another couple, maybe 3 in 9? Bowen, Wilkinson, scoops it back post, there it is! You cannot take your eyes off this match. Julia Grosso at the back post with her first goal in the Liberty A-League. 6 goals in the last 20 and a bit minutes. The floodgates have been smashed apart, and it is raining and pouring goals here in Perth. (4-3). How good is this? 4-3 Perth Glory. They just need to win this one. Oh, what a finals race this is shaping up to be next week. Nerves jangling everywhere. Valletta powering towards it. Bowen tracks it down. Remember, we've got another 7 minutes of this absolute box office entertainment. Sarah Kane knocks it out towards Coleman. So, if you believe in XG or not, this is interesting. Melbourne City's XG, 4.27. So that says that from the strikes on goal they've had, they should have scored at least 4 goals. Perth's 0.83. So that's saying from the strikes on goal they've had, they shouldn't have even scored 1 goal. And they've scored 4. Hinson taking on Checker, turning one way and the other. And then a strike from range. It's over the top. Not going to trouble Melissa Barbieri that time. Hannah Blake, who scored the absolute stunner to make it 2-1. It seems an age ago now she scored that goal. Milestones everywhere. Kim Carroll's last match at home for Perth Glory. Barbieri's 100th in the Liberty A-League. Hannah Wilkinson, she went outright most goals for City in the Liberty A-League with her 18th. It's all happened this afternoon at Macedonia Park. Henry bumps off Folletta. Carroll across, and Carroll says, let's just get it away. 5 minutes minimum. Accardo, well, didn't look to be too much in that from Coleman, and that's what Kelly Jones thinks as well. And if you could teleport back to the 69th, 70th minute of this match, where Melbourne City, they were cruising. 1-0. Perth could barely create a chance. They had not even had a shot on goal at that point. That was around the 70th minute, just before. City were cruising through to the finals. And here we are. 95th minute of stoppage time, and Perth Glory lead Melbourne City 4-3. Accardo gives away a costly free kick, more so in terms of the time it's going to take out of the clock than anything else. Oh, Dario Vidicic. You have not seen him this frustrated on the sideline across the season. Torpy stabs it to Malone. This is a pressure situation. This is what pressure does. Melbourne City, they need a goal. They're desperate to at least get something out of this match. Grosso, Bowen, Langman. Bowen can only produce a wry smile. Villain in the first half, Sarah Langman, after that mistake. Hero, no doubt, in this second. Gee, she's pulled off some big saves. Corner in towards Henry. Anton appeals for handball. Kelly Jones has put the whistle away for the moment. Grosso, the most recent goal scorer, nodded away by Carroll. She will not forget this game, Kim Carroll, her final match at home in the Liberty A-League. Hinsett left it behind, taken off her toes by Torpy. And Hinsett back on it again. You can see that left knee heavily strapped. McNamara flicking up the ball. Melbourne City. Through check-up, Folletta is out on her feet. Through to Wilkinson. Hannah Wilkinson earns a corner for Melbourne City. What is going to happen next in this match? Policina. Huge delivery. Beats everyone. It doesn't beat Torpy at the back post, but it beats the goal off a Perth Glory player. And if it didn't, it probably would have been 4-all. Check this out. Let's do the forensics. Oh. So close for Torpy from equalisers in back-to-back weeks. This is deep. Well, it's not even on target. It's straight out. A pressure situation. And now Perth Glory with a chance to ride out the clock. If you've just joined us, since the 70th minute, we've seen 6 goals in this match after Melbourne City led 1-0. Is there one more goal in it? Malone, checker, lumps it back in. Handball it looked to be, not given. Accardo, her pass straight to Blake. And now Coleman, that is a crucial throw to win. How about the change in body language from Alex Epakis? He looked disconsolate almost at half time and early in the second half. Looked as though there may not be an answer, but Perth Glory have pulled off a famous victory. And in Kim Carroll's final match at home in the West, in the Liberty A-League, it is an afternoon to remember for the team in purple. Their finals hopes alive and kicking ahead of a final week road trip